Dadashri did not come to India, did not come to America in 1983. He was all ready to come. They had the visa and tickets and everything to come. And then our very prominent Mahatma, it was called Chandrakant Pai, the one who got the Gnan first from Dadashri. He died suddenly, and because of that, Dadashri decided not to come to America. But I was lucky; I had the opportunity to meet him in 1983 because I was coming to India, and I came to India because I was spending 3 weeks in India, and the goal was to find a good school for my son to study here so that he could maintain the Indian culture. And my son was around 8-10 years old then, so I was going to visit all the schools in India. And then 1 week I had reserved, I'll spend with Dada. So 2 weeks for school looking, and then 1 week with Dada. So in 1982, 1983, I came to Baroda, and then I went to meet Dada, and he was at the Khatri port. And there was a satsang was just ending. It was about 12:30, and there must be about 50 or 100 Mahatmas there, 50 or so. And then Dada was just ending the satsang, and I was entering. And then I met him, and he didn't recognize me first because he didn't recognize me. But then I said, "Oh, I'm Shirish Patel, doctor from California." And then he recognized me. And then he named and all the Mahatmas of LA with names. Like this is how is Ramila Ben, and how is Shashikant Bai, and how is Daksha Ben, and how is Arun Bai, and how is Pushpa Ben. He could I think he could see all that. And then he asked me first question. Remember, have you put that God separately in your home? I told you. The God means he had asked me to keep Simandar Swami and Dada Bhagwan separate, and this other God separate, And I was a little bit shocked, And then I said, "No, Dada, I have not done that." Then he says, "We tell this to people who will understand. We don't tell this to everybody." Then I was puzzled, why he was doing this, etc., etc. But now you can see how his connections were there. He had told me only for 1 minute, 2 minutes in 1982, and then I met him first time in 83, almost a year down the road. He had that connection of those things. So he could probably see, as he saw me, he saw everything within me. And he really pointed that one thing out to me. And then he said, "I'm going to Ahmedabad tomorrow, so you come and stay with me in Ahmedabad." So he was coming to Ahmedabad. There is a person by the name Kanubai Shah. He lives in Ahmedabad. And Dada said, "You come and stay with me." So he was Kanubai Shah's house. He was a Mahatma. And I had the opportunity to spend about 1 week with Dada. And in one room was Dada Bhagwan and Niruma, and in the other room was me and some Aptaputras. Okay, so it was a great opportunity. I so blessed to be with the Gnani in the same house for 1 week. Now some observations of that 1 week with Dadashri. First, his daily routine. What was his daily routine? Like he would get up around 6 o'clock or so, and then Niruma would be up at the same time, of course, and they were in the same room. And the Dadashri would sit on the side of the bed, and Niruma would bring a little table and then a little basin, and he would do his brush. Now, when this happened, the door was open, so anybody could come in that room at any time with that room. It's open door policy, no secrecy. So we would all go and sit around, and Dada is doing his brush, and so we had all the opportunity to see him. and then after his brush is over, then he would have small snack. But the whole thing was, any people started coming from 6:30 started coming, and they would come. Those people would go to work. They would do Vedi to come. Some people would come to ask some questions. So this thing will go on like informal meeting of people will keep on. Sometimes with Dada will some new people will come and Dada will talk about Tame kaun cho, who are you, that's your name, all that's very basic satsang. Sometimes some people will ask some family problems, he will answer those questions, but it was all open, there was no private. So, and then around 12 o'clock or so, you would have his bath. And then after that bath is lunchtime. So again, he's sitting on the table and we are all sitting on the side and we could see him eat. And after eating, then he would rest for a while. Again, 3-4 o'clock, he was up and his satsang starts again from 4 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Just people are coming, there's Vidi going on, some questions being answered, this and that. And sometimes some even important people will come and they will ask him all the questions. Sometimes one Mahatma will ask question for half an hour, 45 minutes, like that. The beauty was the informality and his availability and his willingness to explain the same thing over and over to everybody. So that was beautiful. And then after 11 o'clock, then Dada Bhagwan, then in the after dinner, most people will go away. So only few people are left now. Few people are Niruma and the Aptaputras and myself and family members. At that time, Dada Bhagwan will do some satsang with them. And then one thing he did was something funny, which I was a little bit shocked in the beginning. So around before about 10 o'clock or so, some Aptaputra will give him his shoe. And then I tell him, please give us your prasad. Prasadiyapo, give me some special gift, prasad. So then, he would take the shoes and boom, 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 will hit everybody. And I am a doctor, this is crazy, man. How can you do that, So I will go away. But Niruma also will take prasad. Everybody will take prasad. So then first couple of days I stayed away. And then I said, well, everybody's taking it, so let me go. It looks bad, no? And so boom, I also got the prasadi. And then I started taking prasadi. Now, what is this importance of prasadi is, I didn't know at that time. Okay? What he says is like your total surrender to the Gnani. And he says that people say, oh, when they hit, he gives you prasadi, then your ego goes away, all your negativity goes away. So that's, and basically shows your total surrender to him. So that was one thing. And then I had a good opportunity to ask all kinds of questions to Dadashri in that 1 week, because I had lot of confusions. I had confusion about black money, why people have to take black money. So he answered those questions. Now they are all in the books, Pisanu Vyavhara and everything. And then I asked about Jain religion. How can you really live the life of ahimsa as it's described in the Jain religion? And lots of questions. They resolved my doubts about Dada Bhagwan. And one time they had a very big satsang in the Tagore Hall in Ahmedabad. That was about his first big public function in Ahmedabad for Dada Bhagwan. And it was arranged by a Jain gentleman, and it was a beautiful hall, and almost maybe 500 people were there. They asked questions, and Dada gave a public satsang. And that was the first time, and I was glad to be there. I think those are all recorded and available. And So it was a beautiful time. I had a good direct blessing of the Granny at that time, and I would somehow, I think my Dada was my special. I was special for Dada. He was special for me, and so I was really very close to him all the time. And even if we had to go by car somewhere, they would give me a place in his car. And so we traveled a little bit to satsang hall, or this satsang we would go. So that was a beautiful, beautiful 1 week with Dada in 1983. And then 84, he came back to America. So we'll pause there.